because we have to drive 2 hours to my ultrasound this morning. And it's at 9:30. So we have to leave in actually less than an hour because my alarm was set for 6:30. It's now 6:50. I lied. 6:50. So we have 40 minutes to get ready. And I can't have coffee or anything because after the ultrasound, I have my gestational diabetes test. And then we have a hospital tour. So, welcome to Vlogmas. Today's a day full of baby appointments. We're home. We've been home for like an hour from the ultrasound. She is measuring in the 16th percentile, which isn't horrible, but it's not great either. Basically, if she goes below 10%, then they'll be like extra concerned, and it means a lot more appointments than I have right now. So we have another ultrasound scan in a month to check how much she's grown from. Basically, there was the first one, there was this one with a month in between, checked the growth. She did improve. So then we'll have another one next month to measure from this one to the next one how much she grows. They do agree with me that we think her due date is slightly off, and that is why she is small. It seems to be general consensus that she's probably due closer to mid-March than early March. So we think we're just gonna change her due date and call it good. But I do have to get that approved by my actual OB and not by the ultrasound people. So that will be discussed on my next OB appointment in early January. But I'm taking this clip in the bathroom because David's out there on calls. We've been home for an hour from the ultrasound, and now we are just about to leave again to go do my glucose test. So I have not eaten. Well, I had 4 pieces of sausage this morning, even though I wasn't supposed to eat it all, but I get sick if I don't eat. So at like 6 a.m. I had 4 pieces of sausage, and then my appointment for the glucose test isn't until 12:40. So in theory, I will still be technically close to fasted, and I didn't eat carbs or sugar, so it's fine. It's fine. But we're about to leave to go do that. Okay, after the gestational diabetes test, we actually went to a new restaurant, and when I tell you this is by far the best food David and I have had since moving to California, and I would even throw Montana and South Dakota in there. We will be regulars at this restaurant, and it was just everything. And after fasting for that long, it was everything I wanted. After going to the restaurant, we did go to the hospital, and this was the only clip I was able to get from that. But basically, the reason, obviously I couldn't film the tour. Like, I couldn't film inside the maternity ward or the labor and delivery rooms or the postpartum rooms or anything like that. However, I will say that if you are pregnant, and I know this is probably so niche and nobody who watches me at this point in time cares about this at all, but this is my life. So, and maybe someday I will have a subscriber who is pregnant for the first time, but you can ask my mother that I genuinely was not going to do a tour of the hospital. For some reason in my brain, that just seemed like a very odd thing to do. Like, I'd never heard of it until I got pregnant and one of my friends told me that I could do it. And I just felt like, who gives the tours? Like, a nurse? Would that not pull them away from their job? Like, I just feel like you would be in the way. I don't know. Just everything about it made me feel like, no, that's not for me. But my mom kind of pushed me to do it. She's also pushing me to do labor classes, which I don't think I'm going to do. But I did go ahead and schedule the tour. And when I tell you, do it. It was great. It was so good. Our tour guide was actually the lactation, or one of the lactation consultants for this hospital. But like, they go over so much information that like is just helpful, you know, for when you actually go into labor. Like, some hospitals, I would assume all, but maybe not all, I don't know. Every hospital that I've ever heard of basically closes at night except for the emergency room entrance. And so the doors are locked. So she like went over, you know, we are open from like doors are unlocked from 5 a.m. to I think it was 8 p.m. or something like that. And she was like, if you go into labor between, you know, at night when we're not open, you still come to this, like you park in this parking lot, you come through this door. If it's locked during the time that you show up, you call this number and it's posted right above the door and the security guard will come and let you in. And they like even went as far as like showing you where your DoorDash and Uber Eats gets dropped off if you order something while you're there. The maternity ward is completely, not only like is the front door to where you would enter for the maternity ward locked off, but the door to actually get into where like the front desk area is for the maternity ward, like the nurse's station is for the maternity ward, where the rooms are, the, I forgot what they called it, the like surgery area, like everything that happens for labor, birth, delivery, postpartum, all of it is also locked behind a door. And to get into that, you actually have to like ring a bell and then they let you in. And then even to get out, you have to let the desk people know that you're leaving and they have to open and like allow you to come and go, which is wild, but like makes a lot of sense. Like, you know, if somebody wanted to steal your baby, like it'd be pretty hard. So there were so many things that, I mean, I wrote a huge, like so many, I can't scroll, so many questions that I wanted to have answered. Because for me, when I'm at my OB appointment, it seems like such an odd time to be asking my OB all these questions about the hospital that I'll be giving birth at when we're not at the hospital. You know, like he's an OB at that hospital. He is on call. He does shifts there as far as delivering babies. But my OB office is not in the hospital. And it just feels so weird to take up his time to ask questions about like one of my questions was, does this hospital restrict birthing positions? You know, like obviously if you have an epidural, that can restrict things. But if you're not having an epidural, are you free to push in whatever position you please? You know, like those kind of questions. I just feel so weird asking him that at a regular OB appointment. So during this tour, I was able to ask all the questions. But really, out of all of the questions I had, I only asked 2. And she just answered all of the rest of them. And it was just like the doors are like, where do I park? Where do I enter? Are there different procedures for if you're coming in the middle of the night? Visitor policy, like do you guys restrict how many visitors you can have? Is the dad allowed to stay the night at the hospital, or are they required to leave after visiting hours are over? Because I'm part of that mom group on Facebook, and there are some hospitals who do not allow the father of the baby to stay with you overnight, which I think is crazy, but whatever, you know. And a lot of hospitals restrict how many people you can have in the labor and delivery room, but also in the postpartum room, like at one time. Their only restriction, you can have as many people in there as you want, which I think is kind of crazy. They were like, if you want to shove 20 people in here, that's fine. As long as the doctors and the nurses can come in and do their job and people aren't in the way, we don't care how many people you have in here. The one support person can stay overnight with you. The only restriction they had was children, and they just don't allow children in the maternity ward. I think it would be like different if it was like your own kid and they were coming to meet the baby, but like they don't want other people's children in the maternity ward. And she basically just said that's because she literally said children carry cooties, and they don't want the little kids getting all these new babies sick. I did ask her if it was a teaching hospital, because I have on my birth plan, which, again, I'm debating whether or not to go over, like, what's in my hospital bag, what I had on my registry, what's in my birth plan, like, what's in my packing list, all of that stuff. I don't know if I'll go do that or not. We'll see as the time gets closer. But I did have that on my birth plan. I did not want students actually doing things to me or to baby. Like, I was fine if they were there watching and, like, just observing what was happening. So they were allowed in the room, but I didn't want them actually to do anything. So I did ask if it was a teaching hospital, which she did say it is a teaching hospital for nurses, but not for doctors. So, like, because my thing was like, if I decide that I want an epidural, I want somebody who's going to be able to give me an epidural that's going to freaking work. Like, if I had a student who did it and it didn't work, that would have been a swift way to piss me off. So, like, I'm just so for and love the people who are totally willing to let students do things, you know, for them, because obviously they need to get practice or whatever. But this is my first child, and if I'm at the point where I want an epidural, that shit better work. I asked, let's see, the pain management options. They have all of the things. In all of their laboring rooms, there's like bathtubs and all of that, which I don't know if I'm really going to do that or not. I can't do nitrous oxide, I would love to try it, to be honest, but I don't know that in labor is the time to test the theory if I'm allergic to more than just anesthesia. I am deathly allergic to inhaled anesthesia. It will kill me pretty instantly. And so for my whole life, they've just kind of like done like this umbrella allergy of inhaled gas instead of just inhaled anesthesia, because they're just scared to test the theory, basically. So I don't know that in labor would be the time to try inhaling nitrous oxide, or isn't that what it is, nitrous oxide? Watch that be something that like totally kills you. I don't know. But whatever that is, the gas that you can inhale, laughing gas is basically what it is. IV pain meds, epidural, obviously the normal ones. Let's see. I asked if it was routine for the vaccinations and things, or she said that, I didn't have to ask it. One of my questions was like my question was, do you have a NICU? Which they do. They said it's a level 2, which I am going to Google, because I don't know if like, are there 5 levels of NICU, and does it go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 being the top, or does it go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 being the top? And like, I don't know. This hospital is really small. At least, again, never given birth, so I don't know that for fact, but like, it seems incredibly small. I know in Boise, there's like floors. There's like a labor and delivery room floor, and then there's like a postpartum floor. This is all just super tiny. They have 9 labor and delivery rooms and 9 postpartum rooms. That's it. So, I don't know. That just seems really small to me. But, yeah. So I was like, is that a super high level NICU? Like, is that going to have everything one would need potentially? Or is that like a lower level NICU? And then if something major were to happen, you would have to be like, or the baby would have to be transported to another hospital with a higher NICU. So that is something I am going to Google. I don't know what level 2 means. Let's see. Lactation support. This hospital, again, I assume it's because it's really, really small. You don't have to like request lactation support because there's only 9 rooms. I guess 18 if you include both the labor and delivery and the postpartum. But you would see your lactation consultant postpartum. So I'm going to say 9. They have 2 lactation consultants, and they just circle the floor all day long. And they visit every single person every single day at least once. That sounds delightful. That sounds great. The average stay, vaginal birth, 24 hours, mandatory. They typically recommend 48 hours. C-section is a minimum of 3 days. They did go over how to pre-register online, which I need to do. But I don't want to do it because it asks for your actual due date, and so I'm not going to do that until I talk to my OB, because again, I think we are changing her due date. All rooms are private. And then she basically said, you can bring and do whatever you want as long as it's not a fire hazard, so no like open flames, but you can bring like diffusers for like smells if you want, and you can play sounds and music and things. She basically just said, but think more spa vibe and not like party vibe. No, she said no boom boxes, just like small speakers, sound machines, things like that. She said that you get 1 like congratulations meal, and for you and your partner, and you can request that be breakfast or dinner, depending on the time that you obviously give birth. which I don't know what that means, because she did say, like, you get 3 meals a day. You know, you get breakfast, lunch, dinner daily that you're there, but there's one congratulations meal. So I don't know what that means. I just fancy your special kind of meal, I guess. But anyway, if there is a pregnant human being out there, I so highly recommend doing the tour to your hospital, because if I had not done that tour and I was actively in labor, in pain, potentially liquid dripping from my body, and we had to figure out where to park, what door to go in, how to get up to the labor and delivery thing, figure out the fact that you can't just walk in and you have to like press a bell and like do all these things, and God be with David if that was a situation, because he would have been unwell. Probably more unwell than I was unwell, because I would have been a freaking raging mess. Not in I just feel like I would have been a very intolerant, impatient, angry human being. I have no patience for hiccups or bumps in the road when I am uncomfortable or when I am stressed out. So the fact that we know exactly where to park, exactly what door to go in, exactly where, like, what elevator to use, exactly where the doorbell is and how it's going to work and what it's going to look like and where to check in and where to triage and where to do all... Absolutely, yes. Like, I could go into labor tomorrow and feel totally... Well, probably wouldn't feel totally cool because that would be slightly terrifying. But when I do go into labor, I'm feeling pretty damn good about it. I will show you these, although I sent these to my mom and she was like, it looks like, hold on, I'm going to tell you exactly what she said because it made me laugh. I feel like some people think I'm like kind of abrasive with my honesty. Like when during our anatomy scan, they showed us her face and I was like, that's terrifying. Like that looks like something straight out of a horror movie. That's not cute in any way. And I'm sure most, moms are like, oh, my beautiful baby. And I'm like, oh. But I sent my mom, because they actually I didn't even ask for this, but they did a 3D ultrasound trying to get me images of her face. And she, of course, is the most uncooperative child ever, as she has been the entire pregnancy. Of course, a child that is half me is going to just be an absolute pain in the... She's folded completely in half, okay? Like, this whole pregnancy, she has been head down, back facing this way on me, like, face facing my butt, back facing my stomach. The whole pregnancy. And all of a sudden, yesterday, during this ultrasound, she decided to be head up, so she's breech, facing forward. But anyway, so they were trying to get pictures, but her hands, I can't hold this and show you this. So she's folded in half, so her feet are up here by her head, and her hands are stuck behind her legs like this. She's literally covering her face with her legs in front of that as well. Like, girl, come on. Be for real. One good picture would be great. But my mom said, hold on, where is it? She said, because I sent her a picture of these ultrasounds. I'll show you actually the one that I sent her. It was, let's see. I sent her the one that I thought was the most obvious. I'm pretty sure it was this one. Like, when I look at that, I can tell it's her face. But my mother said, what is that ultrasound picture showing? Is that her face? Or, I said, can you not see it's her face? It's a very obvious face, LOL. She said, it looks like the man on the moon to me. Like a baby made out of blue cheese. Oh, David's calling me. Hold on, please hold. Hello?
Good morning talk.
Hi.
Hello.
Quick question for you.
Quick answer for you.
Do I look tired?
Yes.
No.
She said it too, huh?
Yeah, she said yes.
Yeah. It's time to catch up, motherfucker. It's catching up to your face.
You have, like, darker spots under your eyes and stuff, but you've run a meeting every single day for a week, and we had to get up at 6:30 in the morning yesterday.
Well, I don't feel any different, but Celine called me not long ago, and was like, you okay? Like, you look tired on call this morning. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, actually, this is the first time, quote-unquote, slept in for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I just got here, and May said the same thing.
Say something on the call, bro, but I didn't want to bust you out.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say your sleeping is not unwell. But
No,
you'll
I'm
catch
not saying
up.
that I'm sleeping good, but I'm saying, like, looking tired. I don't think I look tired. Like, I don't think I look any different.
I think you look a little tired. But, like, understandably so. You'll catch up. It's December. You'll be able to sleep so much in January.
No, I just don't want to look tired.
Oh, I
Because then it,
don't know
then
what
it
to
comes
tell
off
you.
bad to everyone else.
That's not true.
You've been working your ass off, Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you should have said something, because this morning I was like, like, I get everyone's tired. Like, at that point, like, you should have said, like, yeah, you look it, or something, like.
I mean, because I don't want to assume, right? And then I'm just like, oh, maybe, maybe just woke up. I don't know. Maybe just tired. Because I can only imagine, like, we're talking about physical tired, right? If yesterday wasn't a physical, like, an exhausting day, it probably was mentally exhausting because you probably were worried about your fucking business. And that is more draining than being physically tired. So in your mind, you're probably going round and round and round, and now it shows on your face.
His employee's lecturing him about looking too tired.
Okay, well, I'll start check with you, see if these people are crazy, but I guess no.
No, we're not crazy, dog.
No.
She knows she ain't crazy either, bro. I don't think she probably said anything because you have been working hella hard.
Yeah.
Because it's earned. It's an earned, hey, you know what, I am tired.
Yeah,
so
correct.
why give you a fucking shit about it?
Correct.
She said correct.
Yeah.
There you go. You can speak for now.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
I
well,
just don't think
this whole
that-
conversation is being recorded because I'm filming, so.
What?
I'm filming,
oh.
and so I just answered the call and left the video going. So this whole conversation's been recorded.
Okay, well, you have fun videoing. I'll go draw on my face or something and try and figure it out.
Yeah, dude.
I just think maybe more sleep would be the solution.
Yeah, I can't do that right now.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. You're going to be tired until the end of December, but then January you can sleep as much as you want.
Yeah, you could actually take a fucking vacation.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
right.
not a vacation, but
Yeah.
at least sleeping a regular
Vacation of
amount.
1 day, a day, like a good solid Sunday, bro. A good 1 day, bro, will freaking do a lot for you. But you haven't even had that.
Correct.
You've been coming over here because it's the fucking holidays. So even if you were working part-time, like in the store, even though you ain't got to do much, you still have to get your ass up and go somewhere.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back to filming.
Yeah,
you
no,
have
you
so
do it.
much fun
Sorry.
with May.
Okay. All right.
Bye. Oh, I love May. She's great. I don't know how much of that you guys actually heard, but that was fantastic. He does look tired, by the way. He has not had a day off yet this month. He has been getting up for the last 2 weeks. He's run a meeting at every single store. He has to leave at like 6:30 in the morning to some of these stores, and then he doesn't get home until late as shit. And then yesterday was his first day he was able to like stay home all day, but obviously we were up at 6:30 in the morning, driving all over, going to tests, going to ultrasounds, going to the tour, plus he's still like trying to be on calls and answer phone calls for employees, and yeah, no, he works a shit ton. But apparently he's being called out today. Anyways, I cannot for the life of me remember what I was saying, so it must have not been that important. But, oh yeah, my mom just making that comment cracked me up because she's just so honest. And like, I can see it, but to me, it's pretty clearly her face. David says specifically in this one, which again, her hands and her feet are in front of her face. So he says, he's consistently saying that she's going to come out looking like me because he thinks she has my lips and my nose. Personally, I have a hard time believing that 3D ultrasounds are that accurate. Like, how are you telling me that you're taking, what is it, like a image through a human being to another human being behind fat and muscle and organs and tissue and tendons and all of the things going on inside my stomach right now, inside the placenta, inside all the things. You're gonna tell me, yeah, this is what your baby looks like in 3D? I have a hard time believing that. Which is why, like, I was never the girl who was gonna, because there's, like, boutique 3D ultrasound places. I was never gonna do that. But she offered to do just 3D pictures, and she just went ahead and did it, so cool, I guess, yeah. But my mom's comment made me laugh so hard, because she's not wrong. But anyway, that is the recap of all the things that happened yesterday that I tried to get some clips of, but really couldn't. And we're going to move on with today's video. I started filming already, and we got to get this video finished edited, and posted. And then, can you believe we only have a week until Christmas? Like, a week and 1 day till Christmas Eve, basically. But, like, this is going by so fast. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching this one, and I will see you in the next one.